Hey guys, it's Kat and I'm back today to do like a sort of chatty get ready with me using a couple of new things. Now there's two main things I want to use today that are brand new to me. One is a palette. I have not even like swatched it or touched it. This is the Metallic Mysteries 2 by Linda Hallberg. I've been really interested in these palettes. This is the latest one. At Beauty News, we actually sent one of these palettes and I asked Hayley, I'm like, can I do a first impressions with it? She's like, sure. So this is the palette. I'm going to be honest and say, okay, in here, it looks gorgeous, but I was a little bit surprised at how small these were because these palettes aren't cheap. You can get them now at Beauty Bay. So they ship free international shipping, Beauty Bay. But there's a mirror in the palette, but the size, I sort of expected them, I don't know why, but in my head, I sort of expected them to be quite large because I don't know, it looks big, but when you actually look at it, they're probably just the size of a Sugar Pill eyeshadow, which is still very large for an eyeshadow, but you can see that there is this gorgeous, this looks, I don't know if you can see, but you know when you talk about like a wet look highlighter, that looks, no words, that looks like it's just a metallic, reflective, smooth sheen. The others look like shimmery eyeshadows, but that one, for some reason, it looks like intensely reflective and beautiful. I don't know what I'm gonna do with this. I'm sort of thinking, this is a problem, when you're not actually a makeup artist, you're just a makeup enthusiast, you sort of get into habits of like, I like applying eyeshadow this way because I know how to do it and it suits my eye shape. And then when I start going, oh, I want to do something different, I'm like, I don't know what to do different because I have not been trained, but I'm thinking I might do something with these three shades and then use that as a liner, maybe? I don't know. We'll see where it ends up. I don't know. The next things that I want to play with, and I've only delved into a couple of these brushes in my Norvina palette review. I used a couple of them to apply the eyeshadows, but the brand that I want to look at and talk about and try is actually Quartz Beauty. So this is the bag. It's got a little Quartz Beauty there. It's a brand that actually a friend of mine has created. I'm very proud of her. So you might know Crystal Conti from YouTube. She's a fellow Melbourne YouTuber and she created a brush range, which is, I'm so proud of her. This is really cool. This is like life goals. She's done such a good job. So there's a whole bunch of brushes here. I have done my base because there's nothing, these are all Project Pan things on my face at the moment. So I thought I'm just going to focus on the eye brushes. I might use that sparkly eyeshadow as a highlight and use a highlight brush here. But I wanted to try the eye brushes. These are beautiful sort of pinky, corally, millennial pink handles with rose gold brushes. These are all synthetic and I've got some cat fluff on them already. It's a problem with my life. Along with the brushes, she's also released a makeup bag. This is a super, super soft touch, synthetic leather looking makeup bag. I've actually just packed a bunch of the lashes in here. And then of course she's released 6 pairs of these synthetic lashes, which I'll show you when I get to the lash stage. So I'm gonna put some of these on. So that's what we're gonna play with today. And then I've got a few lip products that I could delve into, but depending on the eye look I create, will depend on what lip product I'm using. So we'll get there later. All right, another thing that I did was I asked people on the community tab to leave questions or comment or topics for me to talk about while I'm doing this. So if I don't, I'm just thinking right now, if I don't know what I'm doing with my eyes, chances are I'm going to focus on what the heck am I doing. So if I don't answer them throughout the video, I will answer them at the end. So I will get around to questions as well. All right, we're zoomed in a little bit. I am going to show you this up close a little bit more and also swatch it. Look how pretty it is. But compared to my head, like it's not the biggest palette in the world. Yeah, I just noticed that near my mouth, I've got all like broken down foundation. I had to eat before this. I was getting like the hunger shakes and I was like, no, that's not a good time. Not a good way to film a video, but you're lucky this is not smell-o-vision because the garlic is strong. All I can think of is garlic. Garlic, garlic, garlic. So let's watch this and get distracted from the garlic, shall we? All right, these feel, okay, this feels like a topper shade. It's very, very sparkly. You do see that the design does get messed up a little bit, but it's beautiful as a topper. Oh my God. This feels a lot more smooth, this brown one, and it almost looks like a satin The green, oh my God, I'm living for the green. It's beautiful. These are like, it's like a Christmas palette. And the red, these are beautiful shades. So that's what they look like on the fingers. Swatch just on the hand. Oh, I've got stains from yesterday. That's fun. Oh my God. Oh my God. That's so pretty. It is just a topper glitter, but it is, what a topper glitter it is. The brown is not as, like, it's quite nice and it's very smooth. My hands are actually really bumpy. I got really bad heat rash from Bali. I didn't know I got heat rash, but evidently I do. And that's the green. Once again, not super pigmented swatch. So I'm really keen, I'm just gonna build that up a little bit. I'm really keen to see how they apply on the eye. I do have a bit of NARS eyeshadow primer on my eye. So we'll see how these stick to it and if they need a glitter glue. And this is the red. So the red is very pretty. Once again, you can't really, I think there's not much sun coming in, so it's very hot today, but it's like overcast. Can we see the red a bit better there? Yeah, you can see the sort of metallic red there. So those are the colors that I'm playing with today. Okay, so I'm gonna do something really counterintuitive, something that I wouldn't normally do, but I'm going the soft crease brush from Quartz Beauty, and I'm going in with that like topper sparkly shade, which is called Collision. Now, this does actually, see, it's a bit of a sparkly shade, so it doesn't pick up intensely on the brush, especially a fluffy brush, I'm well aware, but I just want to try a technique, not actually a technique, I just want to try to do something. I'm just thinking of sort of putting it in here really softly. I don't know why, but you can see it is definitely a glitter, like a dispersed glitter shade. This would be really nice over some glitter glue, but I just wanted some, I don't know why I wanted some glitter sort of in that area. I don't think it's really, it's pretty, not doing too much to the look though. Whoa, okay, so on the same brush I just got some of that brown and it does pick up really well. And I'm just going to slowly blend that sort of into the crease. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm doing some crazy shit today. All right, so what have I learned so far from this palette? Not too much. If you blend out the brown, it does go really smoky, which, you know, that's a thing. If you blend out the glittery one, it has glitter. That's also a thing. Now I really want to go in with the green because I think the green is such a gorgeous color. You know, I'm digging greens at the moment, so I think I might put that on the lid just in here. Oh, and I'm using a flat concealer brush because I'm breaking all the rules, but it picks it up really, really nicely. So once again, I'm not using glitter glue. I'm just using a NARS primer, and I think this applies quite nicely. It picks it up nicely. The brush works well. It's quite a firm brush, and also the shades pick up really well and blend out really well. So I think that's, oh, it's a gorgeous shade. It's a gorgeous shade. I'm actually quite surprised at how bold that green is. It goes on really easily. There is no fallout at all. There's a sweat mustache going on, but no fallout. I'm going to turn the brush over to that side and get the brown. I really want to see how this now applies built up, so I'm just going to put that on this half here. So it's a very sort of cool toned smoky brown. It's really pretty. Like, it's not super, super metallic. I thought these were going to be a little bit more metallic, but I think they would be really flattering on multiple like ages, because if you start getting sort of creasy eyes, you can start worrying about metallics really emphasizing things, but these don't seem like they would. They're really flattering, quite bold, but quite flattering eyeshadows. I do have a little like mark here that makes things look a little bit unblended and bumpy. It's just a reaction from generally hair care products. It's weird. It is what it is. Just going to go back in with that blending brush and a little bit more of that brown just to sort of smoke this part out a little bit. So I'm just going to drag that out a little bit as well. All right, I want more green. It is what it is. I'm just going to tap a little bit more green just to take over some of that brown. And as you can see, I am, or as you can hear, probably see as well, since I'm so preoccupied with making this look not look completely crazy, which it still looks crazy. I'm not answering questions, but I will do that very soon, I promise. Okay, just with a clean precision blender, I'm just gonna blend out those edges a little bit. Once again, these are quite easy to blend, but when you do sort of put on really dark colors, it's good to give a little bit of extra time to blend, because the darker they look, the more sort of unblended they can possibly look, or it's harder to get away with unblended darks than it is sort of nudes. All right, with this brush, which is the mini smudger, I think this is perfect for the lower lash line, or to even put things in the inner corner. I want to try the red. So the red is, oh, putting it on, they pick up so nicely. So let's put some red on. That is oh my God, that's a beautiful red. I'm just thinking, for some reason that works so well with brown eyes. Reds usually work better, I think, with like more blue eyes, and green eyes, I think, but brown, this is working. This is working for me. I'm just going to take that up a little bit into sort of a flick, only because I can. This brush is really easy to sort of control, so I will do that. This is really pretty. So stepping back, this look is very crazy, but you could sort of wear these colors on an everyday basis, just mixed with nudes, or colors that you sort of wear every day. Like I could imagine wearing these colors with bronzers, and I think it'd be gorgeous. All right, because this is quite dark, I am going to get the Luxe shader brush, and I'm going to get some of that Collision sparkly shade and just sort of dot it. Oh, better with a finger actually. Just sort of dot it to, oh, it's such a good color. That is such a good color. Yeah, the hairdressers are going to think I'm absolutely, utterly insane wearing this, but what a cool topper color. I'm digging this topper color. I detail the brush, which looks like this one here, which is cool. I'm going to get some of that Collision if I can. It doesn't pick up the best on a brush because it is that sort of flaky formula, but I'm putting it in here. This is the nicest glitter. It doesn't need a glitter glue to stick. There is a bit of fallout, and I'm sure if you had a glitter glue, this would stick so nicely and be so intense. But even just on a normal sort of, you know, primer, it does sort of, you can see the glitter, it does stick. All right, so we're not mucking around. This is a pretty bold look, and I'm just going to put some liner. This is the one I'm panning. This is by Prestige Cosmetics, and it's the shade Daring Green. I'm just putting that on my, what do you call it, waterline. I'm going to put some mascara on, just the NARS Climax mascara, so let's make that quick. All right, that's mascara done, and now I'm going to pick what lashes I'm going to put on. So these are some of the lashes from Quartz Beauty. Crystal did send me these, just to clarify. But what I really like about these lashes is they're not super dramatic and bold. Like some of them are quite long and wispy, but they've got the clear bands that'd be very comfortable, and they're not super, super bold. And I like the look of bold lashes, but I don't feel comfortable wearing them. So the one that I've got here is called, what is it called? This one is Jade, so you can see it sort of flares out a bit. Then we have Amber. This one's called Amber. It's got that same sort of tapered to flared out, but a little bit more dramatic. If you want some baby lashes, so just you want to add just volume and not so much heaps of length, this one's called Rose. Probably the most like bold of the bunch is Moonstone. So you can see that that is a lot more, like there's a lot more volume going on there and length. These next two are sort of like the lashes that I always look for and the ones that I always personally love. So this is Sapphire, and you've got the really wispy but natural looking long lashes. So I like adding length but not so much volume that they look unnatural. So I really, really dig this. I also love looking for lashes that you can cut in half and use as two pairs, which is what I'll probably do with this. And then I also have Amethyst, which is beautiful as well. So sort of similar design to Sapphire, but it's a little bit more volume in the base and less length. So if you want just more volume, these are really nice as well. I don't usually use a full strip of lashes, but I think I could use this because they don't look so heavy and intimidating. All right, so I'm gonna actually try to use these ones. So the amethyst ones, and I might try to use them as a full strip. I'm probably going to fail because I'm really bad at using full strip of lashes, so let's watch me struggle. All right, so I'm gonna have to trim a bit of it because I feel like they're a little bit long for me, so I might just trim some off the front. If you struggle with like lashes lifting a lot, just either cut them in half or trim them. Trimming them really helps a lot, so I'm gonna put that on, and then I'm going to do the other one. I'm using the 1000 Hour Lash Glue. I really like this lash glue because it's small. So I find that when I get to like halfway through a lash glue, it tends to go dry anyway. So these ones are pretty good because they give you enough to use for months and months and months if you use lashes often. But by the time it's drying out, it's sort of done anyway. So I really like the size of this glue. These are really beautiful lashes. So they've got the band that I really like, which after I put this on, I might zoom in and show you, but it's a clear, really thin band. So you don't have that really tough black band to compete with. Like those I struggle with. I wear lashes often for filming, but I usually use lashes that are thin like this and very sort of delicate like this, and I cut them in half and I just plump them on the edge of my eyes. So I don't really have to battle with lashes too much, but full strips that are really, really intense, I really struggle with. So I really like these. Of course, I'm using my fingers because I forgot to get my little lash tool, but let's just try anyway. All right, so instantly you can see that that eye has a lot more volume in it. Pretty much I cut it so the lashes start right where the sort of, iris of my eye starts. So it's not in here, which sort of digs and frustrates me. I'm really not used to using a full strip of lashes. I'm like, oh, I've got something on my eyes. What am I doing? But I'll put the other set on. But hopefully you can see what I'm talking about by the fact that they've got the clear band. Like you barely see a band there at all. And they are very, very flexible and easy to work with, which I really dig. That's sort of what I look for in lashes. All right, so these are the eyes. They're very dramatic. I'm going very dramatic to the hairdressers today. Look, the lashes, I usually don't like a full strip of lashes because I find them quite uncomfortable. These are quite comfortable. The band is really great. It's what I look for in a lash. These are nice and soft and they're not too heavy. And I did trim them so they start, like I said, right where like the brown part of my eye is, so they're not digging into the corner and irritating my eye, which I hate. They look quite natural. I think if you wanted to make them look a little bit more bold or a little less artificial, you could always put some mascara in them. I don't want to do that because I want to use these as much as possible, and I find when you get mascara on them, it takes a lot more to clean them. But also, so I like the lashes. The lashes are great. I think Crystal's done a great job. I like the eyeshadows. I think this pairing is a bit strange, but they all performed really well. That Topper glitter is gorgeous. The green applied beautifully. The red applied beautifully. The brown is really smoky. There's no fallout. There's a little bit of glitter fallout because I didn't use a glitter glue, but there's no fallout from the colors. I don't know. Everything worked smoothly. The outcome's a bit extreme, but everything worked really well. Dig it. Tick, tick, tick. All right, because this eye look is so bold, I am actually going to use a glossy sort of product on my lips. This is by Shiramura. I got this from Yes Style. This is the Lac Supreme in BG02. So it is sort of like a lip gloss lacquer type thing. And let's have a look what it looks like. So the wand is really interesting. It's bent, so you can sort of do like, put it on nice and smooth, or you can even just go in and line bits, which I don't think you necessarily need for this shade, but I do also have a red one of these, and I feel like for a red, you might want some really nice precision. Stop talking while you do this. Jeez. Can still smell that garlic. This smells nice. I'm like, ooh, fruity, and then I'm like, ooh, garlic breath. Do you know what? I think out of all the things that I've used today, this is the thing that I probably like the least. It's sort of like setting to more of a, I don't know, it feels like it's sort of wet, but I can feel that it's setting. And as I'm like fighting it for some reason, I'm like, let's work this into the lips. It's sort of balling up a little bit. So I feel like it's definitely staining as well. So it's interesting. It's like a gloss stain, but I think you sort of need to just go one swipe and let it set, because if you sort of build it up or you sort of like play with it, it sort of fights you. It's like I'm trying to put a layer over already a set gloss and it's just fighting it a little bit. So it's looking okay, just don't touch it, Kat. Don't touch it. All right, so that's my final look using a new eyeshadow palette from Linda Hallberg. If you like the colors and you're not afraid of spending a little bit of money, these perform really, really beautifully. This particularly is insane. If I put that on on top of a glitter glue, which I might try soon, holy bejesus, I think this is going to be the most glorious glitter ever. I sort of see myself less reaching for these all together like I did today, and more reaching for one shade to add a pop of metallic or glitter to another look. Like I can imagine using this brown and blending it out with some nice warm tone mattes. I can see me reaching for this green and once again maybe blending it out with more neutral browns or something. So I can see myself using this quite a lot, but not so much as a whole look like I've done today. I mainly wanted to do that because I just wanted to see how they work, how they look together, and really see if I can create a look using all like metallics and glitters. And I think I did it not too badly. The lashes are really comfortable. For full strip lashes, really comfortable, which is very hard for me to find. I liked all the brushes I used. Like I said, I mainly used eye brushes and I used a lot of them, but they all worked really nicely. They're all really soft. The sort of packing brushes are really dense and really firm, which I like. I thought they were really, really good. Yeah, I used a lot of eye brushes today. There's like a beautiful angle brush with a spoolie, which I haven't used today, but yeah, I used all the eye brushes and they all have a really nice shape to them. So, and cat hair on them, whoopsie daisy. One that I haven't used and I was tempted to use today, but I didn't, is actually the fine liner brush. And this one's interesting. I don't know if it's like my favorite kind of thing. It's sort of like one shape. It doesn't taper in as a liner and it's a little bit angled. Now, angled can be good to stamp in a wing. So I do understand why angled liners can be really good, but the liner brushes I feel most confident with are the ones that start quite fat and then point up, like they taper up into a point. I feel like you get more stability with them. These really, really thin ones that are like uniform all the way through, I sometimes don't get the stability when I'm applying things. But this would be nice as a stamper because it's got that angle to it. So you can sort of just go like boom and just press on a stamp liner. So I can see the benefit of these, but they're not my favorite type of liner brushes. But I really want to start using face brushes as well very soon. There's this beautiful thing. What is this? Concealer buffer. Oh my God. I think I can see myself like setting my base with those. Like if you like to really pack on some powder to set your under eyes, if you like just more of a dusting, I'm dropping everything. This is a Shimmer Veil highlighter. Woo! This is a beautiful domed bronzer brush. I love these. If you love bronzers, like bronzing, I love these big brushes. You just tap it in, tap some off, just work the color onto your face, just add a bit of like, yeah, color to your face. We also have the angled blush brush. So there you go. And this is the mini powder. So once again, you can sort of set, oh, that's nice and soft. These brushes are beautiful. So you can buy them in packs. You can buy them individually. Look at this, face sculpting. Okay, that's a bit advanced for me, but I like it. Oh, we've got a winged eyeliner brush. So what I'd probably use is that sort of angled one to stamp the line. And then I'd go in and sort of finish the line off with this one. There's this interesting one. This is the flat detailer. It's pretty cool. Then we have the Luxe powder. Oh, it's nice and soft. And this, I guess, is a foundation buffer. Yeah, so it's like a buffing brush, which is beautiful. Yeah, so those are like the brushes that she's released. I love them. I think she's done a really good job. They feel really nice and soft. They're synthetic, so no animals harmed, which is great. The colors are very crystal, and I just can't wait to use more of them, like foundation buffer. Yes, please. Yes, please. I want to do it. So congratulations, Crystal. You did a really good job. These are so nice and soft and beautiful. So I also really particularly like this bag. This bag is so soft for like a faux leather. It's very soft and it would fit like a lot of things. A lot of these brushes also come with brush shields, so keep those, and when you wash your brushes you can sort of reshape them. So for example, you just slide them on and you put them on so they keep their shape. Really, really handy. So those are handy to keep. And of course the last thing I used was this Shiramura, what was it called again? The Lac Supreme. So it's like a lip lacquer stain gloss hybrid. It does sort of set, it's kind of sheer, it's shiny, but it sort of stains as well. It's very unusual. I think this is best to put it on and just leave it. Don't try to build it, don't try to mess with it. It just wants to set and do its thing, but it does look quite pretty and quite shiny. So I quite like this look today, but it's interesting. There's a lot going on. And this doesn't feel like a gloss, like it's sticky. It feels just like it's wet. It's really interesting. You're interesting. All right, because I clearly can't do two things at once, I'm going to go through some questions and discussions now at the end. So let's go on to some questions. All right, first question, there's a lot going on. So I'm going to see if I can answer some of them, maybe not all of them. So is this from Murianne? It's a nice name. I don't know if I pronounced it correctly, but biggest makeup regret. Lately, my biggest makeup regret, I'm going to reach for them. Just give me a sec. All right, so I don't like exactly regret these purchases, but it definitely cemented my thoughts on this brand. I got 2 more Pat McGrath palettes. Actually, I got more. I got some mini ones as well. There was a bit of a glitch with Sephora Australia and they were putting everything half price, and I snapped these up in the half price sale. So I got them for half price, which was good. I thought it's a perfect opportunity to try more of these larger palettes and also some of the smaller palettes, because if you saw my review of the Bronze Seduction palette, I liked it, but I wasn't impressed with it. I didn't think it was that impressive, and I am using these and my thoughts have not changed. Also, this arrived broken, which is very annoying. So I might do another review of these other ones. But I'm going to say, even though I don't regret buying more half price to really cement my thoughts on them and to really give them a good go and try more products from Pat McGrath, I think they're pretty average eyeshadows. There's some nice toppers, but I still prefer, I actually like the Linda Hallberg glittery topper better than the toppers in here. So yeah. The next question she had was a trend you wish you skipped. I'm going to say I don't really jump on trends too much. I'm pretty basic with my makeup, so I stick to what I like. And I guess the trend that I did jump on for a while was really extreme highlighting back in like 2016. And I look back and I'm like, oh, what were you doing? But it was fun. It was a fun time. I don't hate it. One trend that I have skipped completely, and I actually was thinking about this yesterday, and I'm like, oh, I should really do like me trying this out for the first time. I've never done a cut crease. And I'm thinking it might be fun to watch me attempt to do a cut crease for the first time, since I wear makeup a lot and I love makeup. But the cut crease thing, it looks too bold. In my opinion, I don't see it suiting me. I also have quite heavy eyelids that, they're quite hooded. So cut creases have never really appealed to me, but I know people do them all the time, and it's a huge trend. So I thought I might do a video later where I'm attempting a cut crease for the first time. Anna is saying, I'd love to watch you do the truthful YouTuber tag, either on this channel or Beauty News. Now, before we went on holidays, which we got back on Monday morning, oh my God, it was a nightmare. But anyway, we got back Monday morning. I'll talk about the holiday soon because a few people are asking, but I actually asked her before we went, I'm like, do you want to film this truthful YouTuber tag on Beauty News? And she wasn't super keen on the idea, and I understand why. So yeah, I don't know if we're going to do it on Beauty News. If we don't, I might do it on my channel. I might film it, next week or the week after. So I'll talk to Hayley about it and we'll figure it out, but I might do that. There's more YouTuber questions that I'll talk about soon. Helen is asking, do you watch less YouTube content since you produce it yourself? Can we really trust any reviews now, since most of well-known channels might be promoting bad stuff for huge incomes? Okay, so two questions here. Do I watch less YouTube content? I don't watch less YouTube content. I just don't watch as much beauty content as I used to. And I feel like because I do create beauty content, I think it's sort of like if you're a musician, and this is going to sound like a random thing, but just bear with me. If you are a musician and you listen to a lot of music, you might unconsciously be creating music that sounds like other music just because you listen to it and like it. So I feel like with me, to sort of stay true to what I like and what I think of things, I just sort of watch other content. I watch news content, I watch movie reviews, I watch science content, I watch soap making, I watch cooking, I watch stuff like that. So I watch other content on YouTube. I still watch a lot of YouTube, but it's generally not beauty content because, for example, if I picked up this palette and I was watching so many reviews and they're like, oh my God, it's amazing. I feel like that sort of sets look, people were doing that and I did see people do that, but it sort of sets an unrealistic expectation that I have for the palette, which then obviously leads me to be a little bit more let down. Or sometimes I unintentionally pick up people's opinions and I think that sort of changes the way that you see it for the first time. So if you hear someone say, oh my God, it's amazing, and if you use it this way and if you use it that way, it's the best, then you kind of go, oh, I'm going to use it that way because it's the best. But I think it's sometimes good just to not watch the reviews and just open a palette, explore it as you want to explore it and how you would naturally use it and see how you like it. So I sort of, avoid a lot of beauty content because I create a lot of it. And I just feel like the more I watch, the less I am inspired to do my own thing, if that makes sense. But the other part of that question about can we really trust any reviews now, I would say yes. I think and someone else had a question. Wait, I'll try to link them. So Kay Ham said, would love to hear your thoughts of YouTube of today, then when you started. It's changed so much since I started watching, and there's drama, money, blah, 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 blah. So I'm going to sort of link the two. It's kind of hard though. When I started YouTube, which was years ago, this channel has always been like a really tiny micro influencer channel where I don't actually get approached by many brands. I don't really care for drama. I just sort of want to document my process of playing with makeup that I love to play with. So for me, YouTube actually hasn't changed in how I create my videos. I do know that there are now like drama channels and all that kind of stuff. And I do think sort of being on both sides where I'm a smaller creator, but we've got a bigger channel as well in beauty news. I've seen both sides and I know that I am no less genuine on my bigger channel than I am on my smaller channel. Just because I actually make a living off that channel, that doesn't influence what I say on my channel. It just makes me more consistent with our uploads and we just work harder on that channel. So I know a bunch of YouTubers and I'm gonna actually be honest with you and say, the bigger the YouTuber, the less they have to prove themselves to brands, the less they need to rely on PR to create content. I probably have come across more disingenuous smaller YouTubers that really want to fight for the attention of brands to say less honest things than some bigger channels. I have never met channels that have millions and millions of subscribers, so I don't know what their motivations are. But I do also know that having a bigger channel doesn't actually change you as a person. You try to do genuine content no matter what. And I've also always tried to be genuine on my channel. And I've also had the backlash of people going, you're lying. You're just trying to drag this brand. You're just trying to get on this brand's good side. So I've had that against me. And it's really funny because I've never, ever, ever said anything that I didn't feel. And I think the thing about makeup is that it is completely and utterly objective. It's whether you like something is an opinion. It's not a fact. The fact is, it's not, yes, it's good or it's bad. It's, yes, I like it or I don't. And so I found that when people don't agree with you because they have dry skin and you're talking about something from an oily skin perspective, they end up saying, you're wrong, you're lying. And I'm like, no, just because your experiences are different, that doesn't mean my thoughts and me verbalizing my experiences are lies. It's just that we have different experiences and different opinions and different we have different things we want from makeup. So I think as you get bigger, people try to I don't know, they try to doubt you and they try to bring you down more because I don't know if it's tall poppy syndrome or if people just don't trust people that are making money from working really hard on their channels. But I've just noticed that a lot of people are actually really, really genuine, and the bigger they are and the more power they have and the more money they make, the less they actually need to suck up to PR and lie about shit. Yeah, I think the thing that I've noticed a lot is bigger channels can buy their own stuff. It's their job. They usually use it as a tax deduction, so they don't have the incentive as much to suck up to PR as much as people think. Yes, I'm sure there are a lot of people that get paid a lot to say certain things, and if you don't trust that channel, don't watch the channel. But yeah, I definitely think there's more genuine people that have bigger channels that I've come across than people that seem disingenuous and are doing it just for the money. I think that's a perception that people put on bigger YouTubers because they are succeeding. And I think people, I don't know, sometimes get bitter at that. I think sometimes they get jealous of that. Sometimes they're like, they don't deserve to earn money from what they're doing as a hobby. So I just feel like, yeah, from my experience, having a bigger channel does not make you less honest. We haven't done any sponsored videos or posts, so I'm not sure what happens when money starts rolling around, but we just don't even reply to a lot of things that we get offered because they don't fit with us. So if we don't want to deal with it and we don't think it works with us, we're not even going to give it the time of day. And I know that a lot of people do that as well. So I think there's a big perception of the bigger you are, the more you lie for money. It's actually, in my opinion, probably the other way around. Okay, so Jillian asked, what did I learn from doing my low buy year last year? She said, what were the pros and cons? And then we've also got another question about low buys. H. Hansen said, upcoming releases that you intend to purchase, or are you back on your low buy? So I did my low buy. I ended up stopping it midway through last year, not because I wasn't enjoying it or that I wasn't doing well with it. It's just got to a point where I just got sort of sick of using the same makeup, and there was some exciting stuff that I wanted to purchase. So I sort of thought, start of every year I'll do a low buy, and this year I was going to do the same thing, but then that Sephora 50% off thing happened and I bought some stuff. So I thought, that's off to a bad start. Let's not start with a low buy. I think low buy, what it taught me was that, I don't know. I think the way I did my low buy was I could give myself 2 purchases a month, and if I didn't use those up, they rolled over to the next month. So I did give myself purchases to use. I didn't do a strict like no buy at all. I just did a low buy, and I think it was quite good. It gave me an excuse not to browse. I think we're sort of in this consumer sort of mentality where, oh, I'm bored, I'm going to browse what sales are on. And I just didn't do that. And I didn't go into Sephora, I didn't go into Mecca, I didn't look for stuff. We do talk about new releases on Beauty News, and if there was something that I really, really wanted, then I would keep an eye out for that. But otherwise, I just wouldn't browse for things. Whereas I sometimes find myself when I'm bored, I remember when I was working full time, on my lunch break, if I was bored, I'd just be like, I'll go to Priceline and browse what's happening there. And then you end up inevitably buying stuff. So it sort of was just stopped me doing that. And I also realized a lot of the stuff that's coming out, it's repetitive, I don't need it. So I quite liked doing the low buy, and I would like to do it again, but I think I've learned some good techniques from that, like don't just start browsing stores just because you're bored. And if you're thinking about something, like if you've seen something and you're thinking about it, yeah, go buy it. But if you see something and it's always good to sort of step away, and like if you've seen a lipstick and you're like, oh, do I want that? That's kind of cool. Do I want it? I find it's best to walk away, go away, have a coffee, go home. If you're still thinking about it, go back and get it like a couple of days later. If you're not thinking about it, don't buy it. And I think that it really sort of curbed some of my bad habits doing a low buy. So I really liked doing that. But yeah, it's hard to do around the holiday period because there's so much cool stuff that comes out. And am I doing it this year? Like I said, no, I started by buying a few things, and I feel like I'm probably going to not buy too much over the next few months, but I'm not going to do like a strict low buy. All right, we've got a few questions about expensive makeup. So we've got Naz who's asking, what's the most expensive makeup item you've ever purchased and did you regret buying it? I would have to say my most expensive makeup item is not actually these because I bought them half price, but when I bought the Bronze Seduction palette for $200 plus shipping, definitely the most expensive. And yes, I didn't regret buying it because like I said, I wanted to try it, and in my job, I need to try makeup. If I'm going to be talking about brands, I should actually know what the formula's like and the quality's like. So I didn't regret doing it, but it's not worth the money. And there was part of me that was like, oh, I feel like I've been scammed a little bit into spending heaps of money on eyeshadows when you can get better eyeshadows for a fraction of the cost. So that is the most expensive thing by far. We've also got Rachel's asking, if you could only purchase one high-end makeup product, what would it be? For her, it would be foundation. She can't find a drugstore one that works well for her. For me, it'd actually probably be eyeshadows. I find that not super high-end. Like I feel like with eyeshadows, and I did talk about this in a video where I talked about whether I would splurge or save on certain makeup categories. So I talked about this in depth. And for me, probably the thing that makes the biggest difference is like a mid-range eyeshadow. So not drugstore, not luxury, but that mid-range of like Anastasia Beverly Hills, Bare Minerals, etc. Those tend to be best bang for your buck. And I find that because I like to change up my eyeshadows and I like eyeshadows to be pigmented, to blend well, to apply really nicely, I feel like for me, I know that the next category would be lipstick because I love a good quality lipstick, but I also know that you can get some, like if you search really hard, you can find some great lipsticks in more affordable categories. So yeah, probably the one splurge if I had to just go higher end with one area, it'd be eyeshadows. For me, I haven't really found too many high-end foundations that work for me. I do have oily skin and I find a lot of high-end foundations work best for drier skin. So yeah, I'm sort of leaning on the drugstore side of foundations and powders and stuff like that. And Zara said, would you rather invest in high quality skincare or makeup? And I'm on the fence. I'm yes to both or no to both. And it's going to sound weird, but I feel like, once again, like I said with that video where it was splurge or save, it's the same as skincare. I feel like some areas of makeup is worth splurging in, some areas of skincare is worth splurging in, but then others you can just easy save on. Cleanser, I feel like you can just get a good cleanser, like just a basic cleanser, but a serum is sometimes worth splurging on. I wouldn't go yes makeup over skincare. I would mix it up with both. Jamie's Corner saying, what's your favorite thing to do on a day off? Will Beauty News ever have merch? And I should buy it all. That's so sweet of her. We have talked again about merch, and I think we're going to start getting that in the works. I think we're just going to start with really small things because we were going to do like t-shirts and stuff, and it got quite overwhelming. We don't know much about graphic design at all, and we also can't afford to pay people to do it. So we were sort of struggling with it, and it got too out of hand, but we do want to do some just basic merch. What's my favorite thing to do on my day off? Unfortunately, well, firstly, at the moment, I love playing Red Dead Redemption 2. I love it. But at the moment, like it's funny though, because I was working full time and then my hobby was YouTube. And so on the weekends I would film, I would edit, in the evenings I would edit, I would read comments, I would do this, my hobby was YouTube. When your hobby becomes your job, it almost becomes your life. I don't think I have many other hobbies outside of YouTube yet because we're at a stage where we still are like workhorses, where we work on it 7 days a week to get videos up on my channel, to get videos up on Beauty News. And I just feel like it hasn't yet got to a stage where we've been able to contain it just to 8 hours a day for 5 days a week and then do other things outside. It's still our hobby and our job combined. So it means that we do work a lot, but we love it. So it is what it is. But generally when I'm not working on YouTube, I'm generally seeing friends or family, or sleeping, or playing Red Dead Redemption 2, or watching Brooklyn Nine-Nine, pretty much. Oh, this is gonna be the last one because I love Jared Maples. I see your comments all the time, you're great. What was your first word? Okay, sunset or sunrise? Healthy relationship advice. Okay. My first word was bubble, and it was because that's what I used to call my bottle. So I used to ask for my bubble. I really liked my bottle. So that was my first word. Sunrise or sunset? Look, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not a morning person, so I would see more sunsets more than sunrises. But also because of that, sunrises are more like rare for me. So the idea of sunrise, I'm like, oh, that's so cool. I don't see that often. So probably sunrises, but I'm more inclined to see a sunset. And healthy relationship advice. Okay. I guess healthy relationship advice would be to find someone that you feel comfortable being yourself with. Yeah, I think if you can do that, then you found someone that's pretty right for you. And also find someone that you think is a good person and you're not trying to change. I think when people try to change themselves or put on a facade to please the other person or have high expectations that the other person's going to change, it's never going to work out, and you're never truly comfortable, and it's never truly your home in a relationship if you aren't being yourself or you are expecting something more or something different from your other person. I think if you find someone that you know is a good person and you accept them for who they are and they accept you for who you are, that's when you find a very harmonious relationship, and it's going to be good. Oh, bugger. I was going to talk about my holiday. So Lizzie wants to see a cameo from my cat. Amy wanted to hear about Bali. Sherry wanted to see the cats. Sarah said, what's your favorite part about Bali, and advice to someone who wants to go but has never been? Okay, look, I had a good time in Bali, but I mainly think the good time was had by the pool hanging out with my friends. It was great. We had a really good time. And we did have a couple of days where we went on tours, which was nice. But Bali is, I'm going to be completely honest and say, I felt a little bit uncomfortable in Bali. I've been to quite a few like Asian countries, and I feel like Bali was a really unusual one. It was beautiful. The people were quite nice. But I just felt like the divide between tourists and locals was so extreme that it actually made me a little bit uncomfortable. I feel like it was a beautiful country that they built a tourism facade onto. And I think because the prices are so inflated for tourists, which I understand tourism brings in money, etc., I feel like you can't really mingle with locals. We asked a few people and they said, oh no, we don't go there, we can't go there, we can't go to afford there. And I'm just like, it's not, if you want to go to a country and you want to experience the culture, Bali's not the place to do it. You go as a tourist and you're treated like a tourist, and you're taken to tourist spots and you're overcharged for a lot of things. And then locals seem to just be in a completely different area and sort of avoid the touristy areas unless they're selling you things. So I just found it to be a very strange, like I said, a beautiful place, and I enjoyed my time there. But if you want to go somewhere and experience the culture, Bali's not the place to go. But if you were planning on going, I think you'd need to look up a lot of things like, I feel like people want to take you to tourist traps. So I would do a lot of research on places to go that people would recommend that don't treat animals badly, because that can happen and that's really uncomfortable as well. So really do research where you want to go. I think also you have to be quite good at like dealing with people pestering you a lot. And I understand that that's just their sale techniques, but you'll be sitting on the beach and you get swarmed by people wanting to sell you bracelets and stuff like that. So you have to be really good at just respectfully declining them. Also look up things like taxi companies that are reputable. Bluebird taxis there are the ones that are like the reputable companies, but there are also taxis that are like Blue Biro, and they scratch off a part of the O to trick you into thinking it's Bluebird, and then they try to scam you into paying a lot more for a taxi. So I feel like If you want a good experience there and not just stay in a resort, I would say you have to do a lot of research, and you also have to be really prepared to get your vaccinations, watch out for Bali belly, watch out for mosquitoes. Like, you just have to do your research and be quite diligent, but also be prepared that, it is a place where they have quite strong sales tactics, and you really don't get a good feel for the culture being a tourist. It's hard. It's a weird place. But it is a beautiful place, and it was nice. The weather was nice. You know, the beaches were nice. The pool was nice. So yeah, there were some really nice elements to it. But I don't know, it felt a little bit like Truman Show-ish to me. Like they've set up this artificial world for tourists that is not actually real. And it didn't sit the best with me. Oh, I forgot to show you the cats because they're not sitting on the couch because it's hot. So they're sort of hiding. So we'll see the cats. This is Booga. Booga. Hello, beautiful boy. You're hiding from me. Cheeky boy. Cheeky boy. Thanks, Booga. And we've got Dumbles sitting near the window. So there we go. Hi, Turtles. Yeah. She's pretty chill. Anyway, guys, I've literally been chatting for way too long, so I'm going to leave it there. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.